The massive holographic projection flickered in the United Earth Parliament chamber, casting an eerie blue glow across the faces of assembled world leaders. Admiral James Miller stood at attention, his weathered face revealing no emotion as the alien message played out before them. People of Earth, the towering figure of High Counselor Dax boomed, his crystalline form shimmering. Your rapid expansion across the galaxy has not gone unnoticed. The Galactic Council has deemed your species too aggressive and unpredictable to continue unchecked. Miller's jaw tightened slightly. After 3 centuries of space exploration and colonization, humanity had finally caught the attention of the galaxy's ruling elite, not with diplomacy or cultural exchange, but with fear. You have 30 standard cycles to surrender your expansion rights, dismantle your military vessels, and submit to Council oversight. Dax continued. Failure to comply will result in consequences. The projection vanished, leaving the chamber in stunned silence. President Richard Thompson rose from his seat, his dark skin ashen in the dim light. Admiral Miller, your assessment. Miller stepped forward, his voice steady. Mr. President, members of Parliament, the Council's demands are clear. They want humanity contained and defenseless. Our intelligence suggests they possess technology far beyond our current capabilities. And your recommendation? Thompson pressed. We fight. Miller activated his own holographic display, showing Earth's colonial territories. We've suspected the Council's existence for years. That's why we began Project Shield Wall. Our outer colonies are fortified. Our fleets are ready, and we have contingencies in place. Defense Minister Laura Peters interjected. The Council's giving us 30 days. Perhaps we could negotiate. They won't wait 30 days, Miller cut in. Our deep space sensors have detected massive energy signatures. Their fleet is already moving into position. This ultimatum is just a formality. They plan to strike while they think we're unprepared. The chamber erupted in heated discussion. Miller stood silently, studying the tactical displays. Humanity had spread to over 50 star systems, establishing colonies and mining operations. Each one represented millions of lives now at risk. Ladies and gentlemen, Miller raised his voice above the chaos. We've known this day might come. That's why we built hidden shipyards in the asteroid belts, why we developed new technologies in secret facilities across human space. The Council thinks they're dealing with a primitive species that got lucky with faster-than-light travel. They're wrong. President Thompson nodded gravely. How long until they reach our outer colonies? At their current speed, 5 days to New Eden, less than 2 weeks to reach Earth. Then we have no choice, Thompson declared. Admiral Miller, you have full authority to execute Defense Protocol Omega. May God help us all. As Miller strode from the chamber, alerts were already flashing across his neural implant. The greatest war in human history was about to begin, and he intended to make the Galactic Council regret their ultimatum. He tapped his comlink. This is Admiral Miller. All fleets to battle stations. Operation Shield Wall is now active. Let's show these aliens why you don't corner a human. The attack came at midnight Earth Standard Time. No warning, no final ultimatum, just death raining from the stars. New Eden's orbital defense platforms detected the Council ships moments before they emerged from hyperspace. Massive vessels, their crystalline hulls gleaming with otherworldly energy, materialized around the colony world. Admiral Miller watched the sensor feeds from his command center on Earth, his hands clenched into fists. All stations, execute Defense Protocol Omega, he ordered. Let them think they've caught us sleeping. On New Eden's surface, hidden missile silos powered up. Underground bunkers activated their shields. 3 years of preparation were about to be tested. The Council ships opened fire, their energy weapons carving purple streaks across space. The colony's visible defenses crumbled quickly, exactly as planned. But as the alien vessels moved into low orbit to begin their ground assault, New Eden revealed its true teeth. Hundreds of stealth missiles erupted from hidden launch sites. The Council ships, confident in their superior technology, had neglected to maintain full shields. Their arrogance cost them dearly. Direct hits on multiple targets, reported Captain Thomas from New Eden's command bunker. 2 enemy capital ships disabled. Wait. Massive energy spike from the flagship. Miller leaned forward, studying the tactical display. The Council flagship was charging its main weapon, a planet killer. They'd expected resistance, but not enough to justify such extreme measures. Execute data burst transmission, Miller commanded. Get everything we've learned about their ships to the fleet. Then evacuate the command center. The Council flagship's weapon discharge, a beam of pure destruction that pierced New Eden's atmosphere. The colony's surface boiled under the assault, but not before its automated systems transmitted vital combat data across human space. Miller closed his eyes briefly as New Eden's final transmissions ceased. The colony was lost, but its sacrifice had revealed critical intelligence. The Council ship's shields had a fatal flaw. They couldn't maintain full coverage while firing their main weapons. Send word to all colonies, Miller ordered. Begin evacuation protocols. And contact Dr. Reed at the Mars Research Facility. Tell her to accelerate Project Phantom. We've got their weakness. As reports of Council attacks flooded in from other outer colonies, humanity's hidden strength stirred to life. Massive warships, concealed in asteroid bases and gas giant storms, powered up their engines. Special Forces teams activated sleeper cells in neutral worlds. And deep within Mars, Dr. Reed's team worked frantically to weaponize their greatest discovery. The Council had expected a quick surrender from a primitive species. Instead, they'd walked into humanity's carefully laid trap. The real war was about to begin. Deep within the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter, humanity's greatest secret stirred to life. Admiral Miller stood on the observation deck of Hidden Shipyard Alpha, watching as massive war vessels emerged from their concealed berths. The Council thinks they know our capabilities, he said to his assembled fleet commanders. They counted our visible ships, our known stations, but they never found these. Below them, the docking bays opened to reveal hundreds of advanced warships. Each vessel incorporated technology reverse-engineered from decades of studying alien wreckage. The pride of the fleet was the TSS Vengeance, its hull coated with Dr. Reed's revolutionary stealth material. Dr. Reed's breakthrough changes everything. Miller continued, gesturing to the scientist standing beside him. She was short, with graying hair and fierce eyes that had seen too little sleep. The quantum coating doesn't just bend light, Reed explained, her voice tight with excitement. It absorbs energy signatures. Their sensors can't detect our ships until we're right on top of them. And thanks to New Eden's sacrifice, we know exactly when their shields are weakest. More shipyards were awakening across the solar system, beneath the storms of Jupiter, inside Saturn's rings, and hidden in Neptune's dark side. Humanity's true military might emerge from hibernation. Each vessel was crewed by soldiers who had trained in secret for years, preparing for this moment. What about the civilian populations? Asked Captain Rodriguez, his face grim. The colonies are under attack. Miller nodded. The surface installations were always meant to be sacrificed if necessary. Our people are safe in underground bunkers or have already been evacuated through hidden channels. The Council thinks they're winning by taking empty cities. He pulled up a tactical display showing Council fleet movements. Their arrogance was obvious. Ships scattered, minimal formations, no real defensive screens. They expected no serious resistance. Now we show them humanity's real teeth, Miller declared. Dr. Reed's stealth ships will strike their supply lines, while our main fleet hits their forward bases. They thought they could swallow us whole. Instead, they're about to choke. The assembled commanders studied the battle plans. Years of preparation had created a military force unlike anything the Council expected. Human ingenuity combined with reverse-engineered alien tech would turn the tide. One final thing, Miller added. Our deep space probes detected transmission between several Council member species. Not all of them support this war. When we strike back, we strike hard enough to shatter their alliance. Humanity won't just survive this attack. We'll reshape the galaxy. The hidden fleet powered up its engines, ready to unleash hell upon an overconfident enemy. The Council had awoken a sleeping giant, and space itself would tremble at humanity's response. The Battle of Proxima Centauri began with silence. One moment, the Council's staging area was quiet. The next, humanity's hidden fleet materialized from the void. All ships, weapons free, Admiral Miller commanded from the TSS Vengeance's bridge. Show them no mercy. The stealth fleet struck first, Dr. Reed's quantum coding allowing them to slip past the Council's outer defenses. As the alien ships charged their main weapons, their shield coverage fluctuated, exactly as predicted from New Eden's data. Target their weapon ports, Miller ordered. Hit them while they're vulnerable. Human ships launched precision strikes, their weapons finding gaps in supposedly impenetrable defenses. Council vessels, caught mid-charge, exploded in spectacular fashion. Their formation, designed to intimidate rather than defend, collapsed into chaos. Enemy flagship is attempting to coordinate a response, reported Lieutenant West. But our jamming systems are keeping them isolated. Miller allowed himself a grim smile. The Council's ships were individually powerful, but they'd never faced an enemy that could match their technology. They had no doctrine for this kind of fight. Launch Operation Scattered Thunder, Miller commanded. Smaller human vessels broke formation, each targeting enemy supply ships and support craft. The Council's mighty warships found themselves stranded without fuel or ammunition. The Council Admiral's voice boomed across all frequencies. This is impossible. You're primitives. You can't have this technology. Should we respond, sir? Asked Communications Officer Parker. Actions speak louder than words, Miller replied. All ships, execute attack pattern Delta. Let's show them what primitives can do. The human fleet moved as one, decades of training paying off. Ships rolled and weaved through enemy fire, striking at weak points, coordinating their attacks with devastating precision. Council vessels, designed for overwhelming force, proved surprisingly fragile when their shields failed. Within hours, the greatest collection of Council military might ever assembled was reduced to floating debris. Their remaining ships fled in disarray, abandoning their invasion plans and their assumptions about human capabilities. Send word to Earth, Miller ordered. Proxima Centauri is secure. The counterattack can begin. He paused, watching the tactical display. And inform all commands. Operation Thunderstrike is now in effect. It's time to take the war to their doorstep. The Battle of Proxima Centauri would go down in history as humanity's first major victory against the Council. But more importantly, it shattered the myth of Council invincibility. The galaxy was about to learn a harsh lesson about underestimating humanity. The Council's Grand Chamber erupted into chaos as news of the Proxima Centauri defeat spread. Species representatives shouted accusations across the circular hall, centuries of political unity crumbling in hours. The humans were supposed to be primitive, roared the Centaurian delegate, his crystalline form flashing with anger. Who authorized this attack without full intelligence? High Counselor Dax struggled to maintain order. The military assured us. They assured us of an easy victory, interrupted the Trade Federation's ambassador, her holographic form flickering. Now our merchant fleets are being picked apart by human stealth ships. The Trade Federation declares neutrality in this conflict. The chamber descended into further disorder as more species broke ranks. The Arctians, long resentful of Council control, announced their withdrawal. The Meridian Alliance, seeing an opportunity, began negotiations with Earth. Admiral Miller watched the diplomatic chaos unfold through secure feeds on the TSS Vengeance. Exactly as predicted, he commented to Dr. Reed, "Hit them hard enough, and their unity shatters." The Council's entire power structure was built on perceived superiority. Reed replied, studying the data streams, "We just proved them vulnerable. Every subjected species is now questioning their authority." Reports flooded in from across Council space. Rebellions erupted on resource worlds. Slave species sabotaged production facilities. The mighty Galactic Council, unchallenged for millennia, faced collapse from a single decisive defeat. "Send word to our new allies," Miller ordered. "Operation Thunderstrike begins in 48 hours. Any species that supports us will have a seat at the table when we rebuild the galaxy." The Council's emergency session grew more heated. Accusations of corruption and incompetence flew freely. Several minor species simply walked out, their representatives refusing to support a losing war. "The humans must be contained," Dax shouted desperately. "They'll destroy everything we've built." "You mean everything you built for yourselves?" The Arxian delegate responded coldly. "Perhaps it's time for change." As the Council's political machine tore itself apart, humanity's fleet gathered in secret. The real war was about to begin, and the galaxy would never be the same. Operation Thunderstrike began at dawn, Earth Standard Time. 3,000 human warships, supported by rebel alien vessels, dropped out of stealth simultaneously across Council space. "All fleets, execute battle plans," Admiral Miller commanded from the TSF Vengeance. "Hit their command centers first. Don't let them coordinate a response." The Council's remaining military forces, scattered and disorganized after Proxima Centauri, crumbled before the massive assault. Dr. Reed's stealth technology let human ships strike without warning, destroying critical infrastructure before the enemy knew they were under attack. Council headquarters on Centaurus Prime is attempting to evacuate, reported Lieutenant West. Their defensive fleet is in disarray. Miller watched the tactical displays as centuries of Council dominance collapsed in hours. Their arrogance had left them vulnerable. No backup plans, no hardened command centers, no real defense in depth. "All ships, maintain combat formations," he ordered. "Don't let them regroup. Push straight for their capital." The Council's mighty defense platforms, designed to intimidate lesser species, proved useless against enemies they couldn't detect. Human ships slipped through their sensor nets, striking critical systems with surgical precision. "Sir," Parker called out, "we're receiving surrender signals from multiple Council worlds. Their slave species are rising up." The revolution spread like wildfire. Every subjugated race that had suffered under Council rule saw their chance for freedom. Mining colonies declared independence. Fortress worlds switched sides. The Council's careful political structure, built on fear and technological superiority, imploded. "Message from Earth Command," West announced. "All primary objectives secured. Council leadership is cornered on their capital world." Miller nodded grimly. "All fleets converge on Centaurus Prime. It's time to end this." The TSS Vengeance led the final assault, its stealth systems allowing it to penetrate the capital's last defenses. The Council's mighty citadel, standing for 10,000 years, now faced humanity's judgment. Operation Thunderstrike would be remembered as the most decisive military campaign in galactic history. In less than a day, humanity had broken the power of an empire that had ruled for millennia. "Send word to all commands," Miller ordered. "The final phase begins now." Admiral Miller stood in the Council's Grand Chamber, now filled with representatives from every spacefaring species. The mighty crystalline walls, once symbols of Council authority, now witnessed the birth of a new galactic order. "The war is over," he announced, his voice carrying across the vast space. "The Council's leadership has surrendered unconditionally, but humanity does not seek to replace one empire with another." President Thompson stepped forward, addressing the assembled delegates. "We propose the formation of a new interstellar alliance. Equal representation, shared technology, mutual defense. No species will dominate another again." The chamber erupted in discussion. Former Council worlds, rebel planets, and independent systems all faced a crucial decision. The galaxy's future hung in the balance. "Humanity has proven its worth," declared the Arxian representative. "Not just in combat, but in vision. We support this alliance." One by one, Species pledged their support. Even some former council races, humbled by defeat, saw the wisdom in unity rather than dominance. Dr. Reed presented her final gift. The quantum stealth technology would be shared with all Alliance members. No more technological superiority, she stated. We advance together or not at all. The former council chambers transformed into the Alliance Assembly. New laws were drafted, ensuring rights for all sentient beings. Trade routes reopened, cultural exchanges began, and ancient rivalries gave way to cooperation. Quite a change from their ultimatum, Miller remarked to Thompson as they watched the proceedings. They thought they were dealing with primitives. Instead, they found equals. Better than equals, Thompson replied. They found the species that would end their empire and unite the galaxy. Not bad for a bunch of primitives. As the first session of the new alliance concluded, ships from 100 worlds filled the skies of Centaurus Prime. The age of the Council was over. The dawn of unity had begun. Humanity had not just survived, they had reshaped the galaxy itself. And this was only the beginning.